December starts off with a brand new cycle. On the first of the month, we're going to have this very optimistic and freeing new moon in Sagittarius that happens at 9 degrees. So with this is going to be a lot of expansion and joy and optimism and opportunities that are going to be starting within this time frame and lasting all the way out for another 6 months, right? So we're going to be able to experience the things that we are beginning now later on in Gemini season. So buckle up. We're about to dive deep into what this Sagittarius new moon is going to bring us. Hey y'all, I'm Jasmeen, the owner of House of Chiron Astrology and Reiki, and I make the language of astrology digestible for all of y'all. So welcome to my channel, welcome to my YouTube, and this is the place where we dive deep into all things astrology and Reiki and spiritual healing and mental health and all the good stuff, right? So with that, we're going to be talking about this Sagittarius new moon that happens on December 1st, and it's happening at 9 degrees. So let's first start talking about the number 9, right? Because it's happening at the 9th degree. And the number 9 represents like the ending or the wrapping up of a cycle. And so Sagittarius is about expansion. It's about freedom. It's about your beliefs. It's about exploration and just kind of like getting a bird's eye view or a different perspective of certain things, okay? So with this, it has a lot to do with, you know, helping us with our belief systems and the emotional, intuitive energy that's here with Mars being in Cancer is going to be giving an energetic boost on an intuitive level, you know, setting our intentions and thinking about the time ahead, right? So, you know, thinking outside the box, expanding on that, you know, even expanding your knowledge, expanding what you know, so that way you can make a better informed decision on things, or you can make better planning or have better, broader ideas, right? So just kind of keep that in mind, that with Saturn's influence here and then Jupiter's influence as well, there's going to be a testing of your beliefs. There's going to be a testing of what you know or what you think you know, because it's in Gemini. And kind of like weighing those options, right? Because Sagittarius is what you know, it's the truth, whereas Gemini is what you think you know, because you're still learning, right? And so that energy is going to be very present. So, you know, think about your boundaries also. Boundaries versus freedom. What does that look like? What does your boundaries look like? Do you need to implement more boundaries? Do you need to create structure because you're not necessarily responsible in a certain area of your life? So these are themes that might come up. Also, spiritual discipline is going to be key during this time as well. If you have a spiritual practice, making sure that you are consistent, you are disciplined with that. You know, there's potential for growth in this area if it's something that you recognize that you need to, you know, improve on. So that Sagittarius optimism with that Saturn's grounded approach is going to help you with the emotional work and the spiritual work, okay? Now, we have the predictions for all 12 zodiacs, but first, before I dive into all of that, I have a few quick announcements, okay? So we have just finished our, or at the time that you're probably getting this, we have a Black Friday sale going on. So it is going to be 20 and 30% off on services and all of our merch. So 30% off on services, 20% off on our merch, and you can go ahead and mosey onto the website. We have the coupon code in the description box below, so go ahead and get yours now. Everything is on sale, and probably at the time that you're getting this, it's like there. So we'll be doing not only a Black Friday sale, but we'll also be doing a Cyber Monday sale, okay? So if you are in need of any astrology services, that information is here. We also have a couple of new ebooks that are on our website. Those are also on sale. So limited time, because the price is going to go up right after all this is done. So We have the Astrology and Love ebook. So it's the Astrology of the Heart ebook. It talks about attachment styles and how to recognize things like within a synastry chart and what love looks like for you based on like your individual energy and how to recognize that by looking at your own chart. So it's a very deep, detailed ebook. It is like 70 something pages of information. And yeah, it is normal price $39.99 right now. I believe it's like on sale for $29.99 or something like that. So go get that. We also have the Astrology and Wellness book and some other things. So just go to the website. Description box has all the things that you need. Use the coupon code that is there so you can get your Black Friday or your Cyber Monday deal. And yeah. Also, what do we have? I think that's it for right now. As far as like updates that y'all don't already know about, of course, you can go to my website if you have not already signed up for my newsletter. If you go there and you give me your email, I give you a free book, right? You get the Cosmic Trinity, the Big Three. It talks all about the Big Three and why it's important that you need to know your Big Three and what does it mean. It breaks down each element, all the things. So that is about 30 pages of goodness, I think. I think that's good. I think it's 30 pages, something like that. So either way, it's really informative. So go get that. Just give me your email and you get that one for free. So y'all can have plenty of things to read on your holiday break if you go ahead and purchase it. All right. So with that being said, we are going to dive deep into the readings for all 12 zodiac signs. But first, before we do so, I would like to remind you that I use whole sign, traditional, sometimes, well, I would say whole sign, modern astrology, and sometimes I add a little traditional stuff in there because, you know, traditional astrology too. Also, we use the tropical zodiac. So I also go by your rising sign in the whole sign system, right? So there's a difference between Placidus and whole sign. So make sure that if you are listening for all of your information, you are doing it by whole sign astrology, and that's going to resonate mostly with you. I like to use whole sign astrology for more predictive and also more general readings, whereas like person to person, I will use Placidus, right? So with that, make sure that you are listening for all three, your sun, moon, and your rising. Your rising is going to be first and primary. That's mostly accurate for your sign because it tells me exactly where this energy is happening in what area of your life. Second will be your sun sign. That reflects your focus, your goals, maybe even your career. If you are more masculine in energy, this reading might resonate for you. And then last but not least will be your moon sign. It is more subjective. It is internal. It is about your home and family life. It can reflect like your current living situations. And if you are more feminine in energy, then this reading will probably resonate more with you as well. All right, so with that being said, let's get started with Aries, sun, moon, and rising. So this Sagittarius new moon is happening in your 9th house, and this is the house of higher learning, travel, philosophies, your beliefs. This is the things that you know, your life path, right? So with the new moon in the 9th house, it's really inspiring you and encouraging you to explore new horizons, right? Whether it's through travel. So you might be starting off something with a new travel, or you might be planning to go somewhere on a trip during this time, or you might be embarking on new education, or even like a new spiritual pursuit, right? Because also the 9th house represents religion. So it could be religion, it could be organized religion, or it could just be like a spiritual path. It is also the house of like mentors and gurus and like coaches and things like that. So maybe you're going to be getting a new coach or a new mentor, or you're going to become a new coach or a new mentor, or you starting a new mentorship, something like that. Now, the trine that's happening with Mars in Cancer is in your 4th house, right? So this suggests an emotional motivation tied to family, your roots, your traditions, and, you know, maybe what brings you comfort. Maybe there's going to be something new happening in the home, or maybe it could be that you're going to be moving abroad, right? Or you could be moving to a new location. Now, with Saturn being in Pisces, that's happening in your 12th house. So those challenges in the 12th house are going to help you balance exploration with inner healing and being able to address subconscious fears, right? So just kind of like working on those subconscious fears, releasing what those subconscious fears are, understanding what they are, and allowing yourself to utilize the things from like behind the scenes in your subconscious to kind of push you in this new direction. Also, the 12th house represents permanent foreign settlements. So you could be moving, right? You could be moving to a permanent location and, you know, getting a new home, building what that is. And it could be something new, taking action into like your roots, your foundation, and what make you feel secure. Okay. So moving on to Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. I have a Taurus rising. So this is for us, y'all. I also have an Aries moon. So that could also be for me. But anywho, this ain't about me. It's about y'all. All right, so Taurus rising. This is happening in your 8th house. So with it being in the 8th house, this has a lot to do with transformation. This has a lot to do with your shared resources, intimacy. This is debts. This is finances that you get from other people, finances that you get from doing like goods and services, right? So it could be taxes, inheritances. It also could be very like karmic things. So with it being in your 8th house, is a new beginning, right? Something that is deep emotional healing could be happening, or some type of transformation could be happening during this time. Financial matters or shared investments may also take center stage from now over the next 6 months. So like if you're in partnership, you could be investing, you could be sharing resources, you could be merging your finances, you could be merging in unity. So some people could be engaged or getting married during this time. Ooh. Okay, so that also could definitely happen with us. And then like the trine to Mars that is happening in Cancer, right? So that's in your 3rd house. So Mars and Cancer in the 3rd house, it also could be like you're going to be making money because you're starting a new business, or you could be receiving income or something because of an educational pursuit, or because of a book that you're writing, right? I just said that with the whole ebook thing. And it's going to be supporting like a courageous energy in your communication, how you share. So you could also be sharing things on a public scale, right? So sharing things from like your beliefs, your thoughts, right? Things from like your psyches or psychological things you could be sharing on social media, because it's also very much so 3rd house energy, and you could be doing so through your business or through other endeavors, right? So also keep in mind, Saturn is in Pisces in your 11th house, Taurus. And so this is going to challenge you to align your growth with your collective goals, your individual goals with the collective goals, right? And so there may be some things that's going to be happening, you know, on a broader scale when it comes to like your community, your broader community or broader sense of community. That could be your community online, because also 11th house is online presence as well. But those are like individuals that you don't necessarily know. It's like followers, large following, things like that. So with Saturn being there in your 11th house and it's making this square aspect, it could be some challenges there. And it's helping you to grow, right? Spiritually, helping you to align your spiritual growth with your goals, your long-term goals, and things of that nature. There could also be some inheritances that come through for you. All right. So moving on to Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. So this Sagittarius new moon is happening in your 7th house. Okay. So this is about partnerships, relationships, commitments, and contracts and agreements, and all these things don't necessarily have to be on paper, but yes, that is also included. It could be verbal agreements, spiritual agreements. It could be contracts that you are having with like business partnerships, but it also could indicate marriage. It could be business connections. It could be collaborations, things of that nature. So a fresh cycle is beginning in your relationships. Okay, Gemini. So this new moon encourages you to embrace optimism and growth in these areas of your life, right? In partnerships. Mars in Cancer is happening in your 2nd house. So this is adding not only, you know, a financial aspect, but it's like personal growth, personal values. This is about your possessions, the things that you own, the things that you have. And it's adding like an emotional focus to all of these energies. It has a lot to do with your self-worth, your shared values, okay? Things that you have with someone. So I can highly see that like with Gemini energy, that could be lots of partnership energy, right? So whether it's through marriage, it's through a relationship, it's through business partnership, it's through, you know, maybe you are writing to gain new things, right? So like creating a contract, and you're gaining something. So you could be purchasing something and now like you have to sign, it's like a loan or something along those lines. Saturn is in Pisces, and that's in your 10th house. So that has a lot to do with your career, your public image, your reputation, your social status. So there's definitely, it sounds like to me that someone is getting married, or they are getting into some type of partnership, whether it's business, platonic, whatever it is. And it's shifting how you show up publicly. It's shifting how people see you publicly. It's also shifting your responsibilities, right, to the world, right? So it's asking you to bring a sense of discipline to your career and your public commitments, and to just how you show up in general, okay? So for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Sagittarius new moon is happening in your 6th house. So this is the house of work and health and your daily routines. And it's also the house of pets, open enemies, things like that. So it's inviting you to set new intentions, and like a new cycle is beginning when it comes to your health, when it comes to how you move about daily, maybe even your work-life balance. So maybe you're getting a new job during this time. Maybe you are moving into a new position in life, and you need to align your health, your daily routines with the work that you're now doing. Now, Mars is in your first sign, right? So it's in your first house in Cancer. So you are active. You are doing a lot, Cancer risings, okay, specifically. And it's going to still be there. There's going to kind of be like a review when Mars goes retrograde on where you are putting your energy and if it is actually panning out for you in a favorable long-term way. Okay, so it's going to also be providing you that emotional courage that you need to take action on those things that really resonate with you. Now, Saturn is in Pisces, and it's in your 9th house. So those challenges that are happening in the 9th house is about aligning your higher beliefs and aligning your long-term goals and your long-term education with what it is that you're trying to acquire during this time, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind, that what you're doing. So maybe you are going to be doing something new from your day-to-day routine. Maybe you've recently moved somewhere, or you're traveling abroad, and now your day-to-day habits are shifting. Maybe your health is shifting. Maybe you are having to make some changes and create discipline, create structure that you haven't done before. And also just kind of like review in due time. You're going to be reviewing where you have been putting your energy and where you actually want to be. Okay, so for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Sagittarius new moon is happening in your 5th house, and this is the house of creativity, romance, children, self-expression. This is the very courageous house. It has a lot to do with romance also. So this new moon sparks like a new beginning in creativity and all those other things I just mentioned, right? Joy and passion, maybe even having new kids. It's possible. All right. So, between now and the next 6 months, either you're going to be having a baby, or you could be trying to get pregnant. It could be that, or you could be birthing. Now, pregnancy doesn't always necessarily mean that you're going to have like an actual baby, but it definitely can indicate that. But you could be birthing a new project. It's like your baby, right? It could be a business. It could be something that you're creating, right? So it's all coming from the same space. Keep that in mind. Now, it's going to be making a trine to Mars that is in Cancer, and that's in your 12th house. So this is a energy that supports inspiration and action that is rooted in deep emotional reflection, right? Shadow work, those things that are going to be kind of like coming out to the forefront, while Saturn is in Pisces, and that's in your 8th house. So this is about psychological things coming out. This could be shared resources. This could be investments, taxes, and debts, things like that. And it's asking you to ground your creativity and your visions in something that is more, that's going to help you with financial or other transformations, right? Psychological transformations in a very disciplined fashion. Okay, so with it being that, it could be that you're going to be birthing something, or you're going to be creating something with someone else, right? Because 8th house is also things that you share with other people, or you could be birthing something. So that also that 8th house energy could be literal, like having a baby, because it's something that you also do with another person. And the 12th house the 12th house also represents the womb. So some of y'all could be definitely having babies, but also you could be birthing something creative and sharing it with someone. Or you could be 8th house energy is also goods and services. So creating something that's going to create some type of financial increase for you, or just a new way of making money. All right, so for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Sagittarius new moon is happening in your 4th house. So this is the house of home, family, your foundations, your sense of security, what brings you comfort. This is your roots and traditions. And so this is setting intentions and starting a new beginning and bringing harmony and growth within your home and family life, right? So whether you are looking to move, whether you're looking to just implement something new within your home life, this is a very supportive and optimistic energy to do so. Mars is in Cancer, and that is in your 11th house. So this has a lot to do with your long-term goals. This has a lot to do with acquiring new things, material gains coming into your home and your family, and it's supporting that and aligning the family goals with social networks, right? With social things, with the society, so to speak, right? And then also keep in mind that Saturn is in Pisces, and that's in your 7th house. So this could also indicate a new beginning when it comes to like your relationships, or a commitment that you're making, a contract that you're having to create at this time. And it's asking you to balance those personal foundations with commitments in relationships. So there could definitely be like a shift happening in your home, in your family, that has a lot to do with, you know, a new beginning regarding like, I would say relationships, or a commitment. So maybe you're creating a contract, or maybe you are actually like getting engaged or something along those lines, or starting a new business with someone, okay? And it's going to help you create a foundation in your home. This also could indicate that you're signing a contract for a new home, okay? So keep that in mind. Now moving on to Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Sagittarius new moon is happening in your 3rd house. And so this is the house of communication, learning, your local community, like your neighbor, your neighborhood. This also is about short distance trips and travels, like road trips. This is also about small business, right? So this new moon is going to highlight intellectual pursuits, something that is new in communication, something that is new in like your networking abilities, also maybe with your siblings, right? Because it's also very much so 3rd house energy. So Mars is in Cancer, it's in your 10th house. So this could indicate that like you're going to have like a new job, or there's going to be some new communication that shifts how you show up in the world, or how you were seen publicly. And it's going to be supporting emotionally driven career goals. So this could be education that you're getting, and it's changing what you do in your career, okay? While Saturn is in Pisces, and that's in your 6th house. So this definitely is like work related, is what I'm getting, work or business related. And it's asking you to balance your ambitions with practical routines and self-care, because also that 6th house with Saturn being there in your 6th house indicate health and health in regards to your routines also. So maybe you need to have a different health routine, a different day-to-day regimen that you have. So just kind of take heed on, this is like a new beginning where you have to focus on your health, okay? Focus on your health, focus on your routines, and also how that is impacting maybe even your career and how your work is impacting your health, okay? So moving on to Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Sagittarius new moon is happening in your 2nd house. So this is the house of finances, values, your self-worth, your possessions, things of that nature. So keep in mind that your self-worth is directly connected to your net worth. All right. So the new moon is focusing on financial goals and building that self-worth, building your personal values and what that looks like for you. Mars is in Cancer. And, you know, setting these new intentions about, you know, getting these new possessions, or your, you know, new set or newfound personal values, whatever. Mars in Cancer in the 9th house is telling you to align it with your personal beliefs, right? What is it that you truly believe? You know, and also taking inspired action toward aligning, you know, those finances or your personal values with travel, your higher education, your personal beliefs, or, you know, something along those lines, maybe your long-term goals in life. Now, Saturn is in Pisces, and that's in your 5th house. So with Saturn and Pisces being in your 5th house, that has a lot to do with encouraging your creative endeavors, right? Your creative discipline, you know, to align with this energy. Also, maybe you could be getting like a new romantic kind of situation happening, and making sure that you're not stepping outside of your personal values when you are in this romantic connection, right? Or maybe whatever creative situation that you could be kind of like embarking on has to align to your personal values and your long-term planning for your personal projects or your goals or and things of that nature. Also, second house, fifth house, ninth house. It could definitely be saying that you're trying to go on a trip. You're trying to have more fun. You're trying to go places. You're trying to just enjoy life. And that could be just very much so your personal values. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now, moving on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your new moon. This is happening in your first house, which is the house of identity, your personal goals, your outlook of the world, your body, right? So this is about you, how you show up. It's all about you. So this is your personal new moon. So it's time to reinvent yourself. It's time to show up in the way that you feel you truly need to show up, right? So setting those bold intentions for your personal growth, your personal, not necessarily your values, but just like how you are, who you are, right? Just personally, who am I? What do I want? What do I want to look like? What do I want to do? So that is all about you. And Mars is in Cancer, it's in your 8th house. So the 8th house, it has a lot to do with you being encouraged for those emotional transformations that are happening, right? So you're changing and shifting how you show up because of some type of emotional challenge or emotional change or transformation that has occurred. Also, it could be because there is like a union or some type of connection that's happening, right? Because 8th house is also intimacy. So you could be transforming because of that, from the inside out, right? So the inner transformation is going to be shown on the outside. And while Saturn is in Pisces in your 4th house, this could also indicate that there's going to be like a shift happening within the home. Maybe something is shifting internally and is showing up externally because of you feeling more grounded and safe and secure within who it is that you are on an emotional level, right? Family stability could be something that also is happening. And those ambitions that you've had with creating that could be happening in the forefront. Okay, so moving on to Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Sagittarius new moon is happening in your 12th house. So this is the house of the subconscious mind. This is about spirituality and things that are creative that happens behind the scenes. This is about, permanent foreign settlements and things of that nature. So it's a new beginning that's inviting you to go inward, right? To go behind the scenes. There's spiritual growth that needs to happen. So you might take a brief sabbatical. You might kind of like see that over the next 6 months that you are not necessarily seen as much as you want to be seen because you're doing shadow work. You're doing the internal work, right? So things are happening behind the scenes. This could also indicate a new beginning for you to rest because 12th house is about rest and rest is a revolution. So we all own it right now. Okay. Mars is in Cancer in the 7th house. Okay, so also with the 12th house energy, the 12th house represents like a dissolving of things or endings of things, right? So things that are coming undone. So there could be some contracts or some agreements that are coming undone. There could be a change and a shift that has happened, right? In something that was recently created or created prior to, and now there's like an undoing of that. All right, so it emphasizes relationships also. So there could be like ending of certain relationships or ending of certain contracts. So that way you can embark on a new way of doing these things. And this is like a source of emotional motivation for you. Now, Saturn is in Pisces and it's in the 3rd house, right? So it's asking you to refine your communication patterns and learning habits. Also with the 3rd house, 7th house influence, that says something about like an actual contract, a document or something that needs to be changed or is coming undone. There's going to be something that is shifting during this time. Okay, so just kind of like refining those things, refining what your commitments are, refining how you want to show up in these things, in these certain patterns that have like kind of been here for a while. Patterns and learning habits are having to come undone. All right, so moving on to Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And this Sagittarius new moon is happening in your 11th house. And so this is a house of friendships and your aspirations, your long-term goals. This is about community. This is about, social networking circles and things of that nature. So setting intentions for social connection and long-term goals. Who are your friends and who do you want them to be in your life? And so this is a new beginning where you could be meeting new people that are going to help you explore new parts of yourself or just explore the world in a different way. This could also indicate that you're going to be moving abroad, learning new things and learning from other people. And so with Mars being in Cancer, it's in your 6th house. So this could be that work takes you to new heights, right? So your daily routines could be shifting because of friendships or social networking circles, or you could be networking and meeting new people because you're looking for more work or new work, right? So this is supporting that nurturing work environment or those health routines, right? And so also Saturn is in Pisces, and that's in your second house. So there could be some financial discipline that needs to happen also. And it's encouraging you to support that financial discipline so that way you can actually achieve those aspirations that you are having to or that you're wanting to acquire at this time, right? So if you have a goal and it requires you to be financially like sound and savvy, it's a time to go ahead and pay attention, listen to that. So this new moon is indicating that this cycle is going to be a cycle of you preparing for whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. In the next 6 months, you'll see how that actually happens for you, okay? Align all that with self-care as well. All right, so last but not least, beautiful Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening in your 10th house. So this is a house of career and public image, your social status and how people see you and your responsibilities to the world. And so this new moon highlights like a new career path, right? Or just how you're showing up in a new way in your career, your public role. So, with Mars being in Cancer, that's in your 5th house. So that has a lot to do with, fun and joy and your hobbies and children and romance and your creative projects. And it's also inspiring you to have like emotionally aligned creativity, right? So Saturn is in your sign, it's in your 1st house. So you are becoming more disciplined, more resilient, more practical, more grounded in your approach to many things and how you see the world. And so it's about personal development and leadership. So you're stepping into a new position of leadership, and you could be really setting intentions that this is what you want to do, and you're actually stepping into that because you've taken the actionable steps to learn what you needed to learn, to be creative, to trust yourself, right? 5th house is also about courage and confidence. So you've been courageous and you've been confident, right? And that you can actually do this thing and be in this position of leadership. And with that energy from the 10th house, 5th house, and 1st house, it's all about you. It's about how you see yourself and how you're going to step up into the light and step up to the plate for what's being asked, okay? So that is what I have for you all for the Sagittarius new moon. So with this, just a little quick affirmation. I just want you all to just keep this in mind throughout this energy for this new moon, is that I expand with courage and optimism. I align my dreams with emotional insight and the discipline needed to manifest them all, okay? So that is something that you can say on the day of this new moon. And in the meantime, y'all go ahead and hit that description box. Y'all go to my website. Remember, we have Black Friday and a Cyber Monday sale going on. By the time that you get this, it should be active and ready. And I will see y'all soon. Happy Sagittarius new moon. Bye.